Hey everybody, it's Mr. Snake Eater coming back at you with another video. Now today I'm going to talk about gun control. Now then, I'm not talking about this because of the massive shooting that happened. Normally, out of respect, I wouldn't make a video out of that to respect the people that died. But why I'm making this video now, because I saw in the news about how a bunch of doctors were axed. Let's see, the question was, do you think American households should get rid of guns, not be allowed to have any? Or somewhere along those lines. And every doctor raised their hand. Now then, I find it foolish that every doctor raised his hand to get rid of all guns in households. And I can see where they're going with this. There wouldn't be more gun crimes. There would be harder for people to kill people with a gun. But I think it's foolish because of many reasons. One reason is that in the past, the government, or governments of the past, have gotten rid of guns. Well, not guns, weapons. The way people defend themselves. See, people use swords and shields. Well, the government came in and said, you're no longer allowed to have that. And when the government became corrupt, people couldn't defend themselves. That is one reason. Another reason is the Second Amendment. Now, I'm not going to misquote the Second Amendment here. And I'm actually going to tell you guys what I think the Second Amendment means. I believe the right to bear arms doesn't mean I'm allowed to carry a gun on me. I don't believe that the Second Amendment is the right to hold guns in a responsible militia. What I do believe the Second Amendment to be is that we're allowed to defend ourselves from our enemies. That is what I believe the Second Amendment to be. And I'm also going to give a third reason why I believe that gun control is bad. It's because if three guys were to break into my room right now, each of them holding a bat, a 2x4, and a boot, steel toe, of course. I don't know. I honestly couldn't think of a third blunt instrument. A lead pipe. What if they're holding a lead pipe, a bat, and a 2x4? Now then, how many of you would think that I would come out of this A-OK? Chances are they're very unlikely because take a look at this room. Unless I were to jump out the window, which is unlikely for me not to get hurt doing that, I'm on the second story here, I would be taking one beating with those blunt weapons. And most likely, killed. Now then, what would be the difference if they had guns? It would be quicker? Nah. If somebody wants somebody dead, they can use any means they want. Your own two hands are the deadliest weapons of all time. Take for instance this. Now I know this wouldn't do much good against the three guys, but this can be a deadly weapon as well. Watch, it's just an average everyday cheap cane flashlight. See? Even works. But this is a special flashlight. In here, screwdriver heads. Now this is actually a pretty good tool because if you ever need a screwdriver, it's right there. But a screwdriver can be considered a blunt weapon. You know what, I could actually take this into school. I don't think there's enough metal in it in order to make the metal detectors go off. And I got a weapon under the school's nose. You know what, I would consider this more of a dangerous weapon because, unlike the gun, it is silent. Now then, I know you can get a silencer for a gun, but I don't think that's actually necessarily legal. I have no idea though. All I know is that I haven't really ever heard of people using silencers. I don't know how well that is, how true that is or not. See, it's a blunt weapon. Now then, in the situations I described, taking a gun to school may seem like it will be easier to kill someone. But once you make noise with a gun, chances are you're going to get caught. Or people will start to evacuate and call the police. This is why I consider a silent weapon more deadly. And I know you can get silencer for a gun, but I don't think a lot of people think that far ahead in time most of the time. Heck, I'm not even thinking too far ahead with this thing. There's probably something along the sign that police could go on to arrest me. This is why the human hands are the most dangerous weapons of all time. It's because we can turn anything into a weapon. Now how good the weapon is, well, this keychain doesn't match up to a gun. That is true. But if it was down to it, and I had those three guys come into my room, I'd rather have a gun by my side to protect myself than to say, all guns are bad and are leading cause of death. Well, I exaggerated that a bit for anyone who wants to know, but yeah. A gun is a tool, and a tool is only bad if the person using it has the wrong intentions. And heck, it's not even hard to make explosives. I mean, I could make mustard gas with everyday items here, and that's much more effective to kill people in a school than a gun is. And we're not gonna start banning material to make mustard gas. And you know what? The news is just straight up one-minded on this. So many news stations are saying that better gun control, better gun control. And yeah, I don't want my freedoms taken away. And I will agree, there should be some stricter laws. But to get rid of every single gun from an American household, it only leaves us vulnerable for an attack by other nations. It only leads us to having a harder time to defend ourselves against crime,